Hello, hello. Hi there, everybody. I'm using one of my better mics this time, so hopefully this should be, I would say, easier to understand. Hopefully you're able to hear me better. Um, so this is the first part of a definitely, just like some of the other stories I've been reading lately, multi-part series thing where I read these uh, wrestling fan fiction stories where in this and many of the other cases, I'm replacing the reader with my character, whichever one that be. So for example here, this is a um this is a Liv Morgan fanfic story. Living like her first name Liv in the dream, Liv Morgan X male reader, except in this case I'm using my wrestler OC Alex Frost. So anyway, let's do this. December 2021. The young man laid flat on his back in the middle of the ring, breathing heavily. The man, uh, James Stone, had just finished a grueling, fast-paced match for the NXT Championship against Tommaso Ciampa. Unfortunately, he was on the losing end of the match. However, the NXT fans in attendance were showing their appreciation for James, better known under his ring name Alex Frost. Thank you, Alex. Chants were filling the WWE Performance Centers. The fans were showing Frost their thanks. When Frost managed to get to his feet, he gratefully acknowledged the fans and bowed to each side of the ring. To the fans, this seemed like a farewell from Frost. Truth be told, he himself did not know that if this was his last match for the newly branded NXT 2.0. If it was, he made sure to thank the fans who had supported him through his years in NXT. If it was the end, most would consider his run in NXT to be quite the success. His accolades being a one-time NXT champion and a two-time North American champion. Many would also agree that Frost had plenty of bangers while in the NXT brand. Yet with as accomplished and meaningful as he has been to the brand, he might not be in the plans for it with the NXT 2.0 rebrand. So after thanking the fans for their support, he heads backstage. There he hugs everyone and enjoys his possible final night with the people of NXT. After going through his post-match necessities like showering and changing, James is approached by a certain WWE Hall of Famer. Shawn Michaels goes up to James and gives him a hug and a handshake. Congratulations on a great match, James, Michaels tells James proudly. Of course, I'm always grateful the opportunity to put on a great match for the brand, James responds. So what's my plans for next Tuesday looking like? James asks Shawn. Sean smirks before answering. Great question. That's up in the air, but I'd make sure not to miss any phone calls for the rest of the night. James stays confused with Sean's statement as they say goodbye to each other. James is now in his car, driving home from after the show. He's thinking about what is next for his NXT career while music plays in the background. His thoughts and the music are suddenly interrupted as the Bluetooth in his car receives a call from his phone. He looks at the number and recognizes it to be from the game himself, Triple H. James answers the call and greets Hunter. Triple H congrats James on the match he had with Ciampa, and they make some small talk. Uh, James then thinks back to what Sean had told him. Is there a specific reason for your call? Is it just for some praise? James asks Hunter with a smile on his end. Because I don't mind just getting some congratulations from congrats on the game himself, James finishes. You're right, there is a specific reason I called you, James, Hunter responds to the young wrestler. James makes sure to listen carefully to Triple H's reasoning. How would you like to be an entrant in the Royal Rumble? Here we are in chapter 29, January 29th, St. Louis, Missouri. It was finally the day of the Royal Rumble. The event of the WWE calendar that starts the road to WrestleMania. This year's event is taking place in St. Louis, Missouri at the Dome at America Center. It is sure to be a big night for WWE and its superstars, especially for a certain NXT star making his main roster debut. Beep, beep, beep. James groans as he reaches for his phone to shut off his alarm. He struggles to find it on his bedside, but eventually manages to shut it off. He looks at the time and reads 7 a.m. Why am I up so early? On a Saturday, too? James questions himself. His eyes suddenly widen and he shoots out of bed after realizing the importance of the day. Oh shit, I'm in the rumble, he exclaims. With a sunburst of energy, he quickly gathers some clothes and heads to the bathroom to start on his morning necessities. Quickly leaving the bathroom, he grabs his phone and leaves the room. He's currently heading to the gym uh, in the hotel he and the other W superstars are staying at. Usually he drinks some sort of caffeine for his workouts, but since his excitement is going through the roof, he decided he didn't need any. He makes it to the gym and starts his workout, sticking to a split. While James is in the middle of a tricep extensions, he doesn't notice a person coming up behind him. Finishing a set, he lets the cable go and slowly turns around. And he catches his breath as he reaches 180 degrees in his turn. He jumps back slightly as he is surprised by the newly arrived person. Damn, Tez, you trying to give me a heart attack? James exclaimed to the now revealed Montez Ford. Montez laughs at James' reaction and responds to him. Saw you from behind and was curious if it was actually you. What are you doing here, man? Montez asked curiously. James smirks while replying, "Oh, nothing important. Just here to be in the Rumble, that's all." James says nonchalantly. "What? You serious?" Montez asked surprisingly. Dead serious. I'm hoping this is a start to my main roster career and not a one-off type thing. James responds, "They finally saw your potential, huh?" Montez says, "Yeah, with NXT shifting to NXT 2.0, they want to change the brand's focus to the newer and younger guys. So I guess I got kicked out." James jokingly finishes with a smile. But in all seriousness, I'm glad I'm finally going to be able to take my talents to Raw or SmackDown. James says to Montez. "Hey man, that's great for you. We'll finally be able to run it back again." Montez responds, referencing the times when the Street Profits were in NXT. "Yeah, maybe I can find someone to run with against you and Doc, or I can just kick both y'all asses myself." James jests back. The two share a laugh and continue to catch up for a while. All right. I'll let you finish up your stash before you talk my ear off and keep me from mine." Montez jokes to James. James laughs and agrees with Montez, but responds with one last quip. "You better hope I don't run into you in the Rumble. Might just have to end your WrestleMania dreams." James finishes with a smirk. The two then dap each other up and go their separate ways in the gym. After James finishes up his workout and heads back to his room to shower and get ready for his big day. Heading to the dome at America Center. James is currently driving to the venue the Royal Rumble event is taking place at. It is around midday. Uh, After leaving the gym early, he grabbed a bite to eat for breakfast and got a suitcase with his gear and took off. He's listening to his game day playlist as he starts his early preparations for his debut. Going back to his baseball days, he always had this pregame routine to get himself prepared for big games. He admits that this day can qualify as a big game. He drives up the road to get on the highway as the arena he's making his debut in comes into view. Quite the place to make a debut, James says to himself. Ain't no problem, he confidently finishes. He refocuses and continues his drive to the arena, the Dome at America Center a couple hours later. It is now a couple hours from the start of the show. The production and ring crew is making sure everything is up and ready for the start of the show. James walks out to where the ring is and takes in the atmosphere. Even though the currently empty arena lacks the fans in attendance, the young man makes sure to take everything in. He knows that this relative calmness will not be around when an estimated 45,000 fans are packed in the building. Yet something inside of him can't wait for the fans' reaction to his main roster debut. He starts to make his way back to the backstage arena area, occasionally conversing with some of the ring crew as they might get used to seeing James if he stays on the main roster. After getting to know some of the crew, he he heads back to the back to get ready for the show. Start of the show. James is mostly in his ring gear and is finishing preparations to make sure everything is good. While in the locker room, he had caught up with some of the other superstars he knew, as well as greeting and introducing himself to some of the guys he's not really familiar with. With the show set to start in a couple of minutes, he finishes lacing up his boots as he hears the show's opening pyro going off. Since the men's rumbles in the main event slot, James makes sure to catch as much of the action of the early matches as he can. He moves to a part in the locker room where TV is showing the event. Kicking off the show is the Universal title match between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. James is especially excited for this match as it gives him the opportunity to watch two of the best in the business go at it. After Reigns' entrance, the crowd pops as the Shield's iconic theme starts playing in the venue. Taunting entrance also gets James to pop internally. It is all thanks to Seth, the Rollins' plan to get under the skin of the Universal Champion. This guy, James thinks of himself with a smile. James was always a fan of the Shield, so seeing the throwback entrance from Rollins was a good moment to experience for the debuting wrestler. Sometime later, is about halfway through the Women's Royal Rumble match. James is currently heading to Gorilla to talk to Triple H about his debut. James makes it to Gorilla and gets Triple H's attention. With Hunter running the show, James is fortunate to have some time to speak with him. Hey, Paul, I'm not entrant number 9, right? James asks nervously. Triple H chuckles and puts his hands on James' shoulder. Yes, you're number 9, and that won't change, so take it easy until you're up, Hunter reassures James. For a few minutes to talk about James' role in the Rumble. It's most of what James already knows he'll be doing in the match since Triple H has to get back to running the show. The conversation comes to an end. Oh, before you go, there has been a small change to your debut, Triple H says with a smirk. Really? James asks curiously. Get ready to make an impact, because you're going to be out there for a while, Triple H tells James. James looks at Triple H with wide eyes and nods his head, taking in the new information. Don't worry too much. You'll kill it out there. Make sure to take in the moment. Just don't get too caught up in it. That's a good caveat to always put. You can enjoy the moment, but don't get too caught up because otherwise you probably will not remember any bit of it, I assume. Triple H finishes saying to the young man as he walks back to his seat in Gorilla. As James stands there taking in the information of his increased role in the Rumble, a newly eliminated woman from her respective Rumble walks backstage. James notices her and the two lock eyes. James recognizes her as Liv Morgan. The female superstar gives him a smile and a wave. James returns a smile, but before anything else can transpire between the two, Liv is hugged by her good friend and ex-faction member, Sarah Logan. With Liv now walking away, conversing with Sarah, James decides to head back to the general backstage area. He needs to get preparing for his match as he now has a bigger part to play in the Rumble. So now we're just at the starting point of the men's Royal Rumble match. So 10, whatever. Entrant number 7, Damian Priest walks through the curtain and starts his Rumble journey. James and the future Rumble entrants are in Gorilla getting ready for their cue. All right. All right. James and the other future Rumble entrants are in Gorilla getting ready for the cue to enter the Royal Rumble. Entrant number 8 is Sami Zayn. Sami turns around and daps up James forward and wishes him luck. Go out there and do your thing, man. I'm excited for you. Sami tells James, thanks, man. Waiting for this moment since I started my wrestling career. James responded, you got this, Sami says before his music hits and makes his way to the ring. The next entrant in the Rumble match will be James, who will finally make his WWE debut. Ever since he made the career change from baseball to wrestling, his main goal was to make it to the big leagues of wrestling. He's now just under a minute from reaching that goal. What better place to make his debut than the Royal Rumble? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go, James says to himself. The NXT Stars music gets the crowd in a frenzy. James walks through the curtain and soaks in the cheers of the 45,000 fans in the arena. All his hard work has paid off. But this is just the beginning. Wow, look at this. NXT superstar Alex Frost is in the Royal Rumble. Uh, Mike Cole excitedly says in commentary, the former NXT North American champion with the opportunity of a lifetime, adds Pat McAfee. James makes his way to the ring and joins the field with AJ Styles, Austin Theory, Montez Ford, Damian Priest, and Sami Zayn. He enters the ring and immediately makes his presence known by ducking a punch from Theory and running off the ropes to respond with a dropkick. Theory gets up and stands himself in the corner of the ring against turnbuckles. He's swiftly met with the running forearm from Alex Frost. While Theory is stunned from the strike, Frost follows up with his signature dragon suplex. Frost gets up and fires at the crowd. While his back is turned, Montez Ford turns around to try and strike him. Frost blocks the attack and follows up with a chop, forearm, and kick to the midsection combo. With Ford being hunched over from the kick, Frost capitalizes with his brainbuster to Ford. James smirks to himself, remembering the conversation earlier in the day. Frost gets up to celebrate, but is quickly blindsided with an attack from Priest. Later on in the match, Alex Frost is 25 minutes into his first Royal Rumble, has made quite the impact. A couple of entrants after him, the Nigerian giant Omos enters the Rumble number 11. Omos was a force to be reckoned with, eliminating Ford, Priest, and Angelo Dawkins. Fortunately for Frost, he avoided being eliminated by Omos. Frost actually got the last laugh, as he was the one who dealt the final blow to Omos to get him over the top rope. This, of course, was with the help of multiple competitors in the match working together to eliminate the big threat. Frost has racked up a respectable 3 eliminations himself as the countdown for entrant 2023 begins. At this point in the match, he is definitely fatigued, but he knows he has more gas in the tank. He pulls himself back up from the corner, using the ropes to help. Unfortunately for Frost, he's quickly dropped again by a tornado DT from entrant number 3, just being the legendary luchador Rey Mysterio. He recovers and retaliates Mysterio by striking the masked wrestler with a forearm. Frost then whips Mysterio into the ropes and on the rebound, tosses Rey up a decent height. This caused Mysterio to land face first on the mat. From being dropped this way, he recovers to be on his knees. Frost sees him in a vulnerable position and charges at Rey with a wicked knee to the face. After taking out Mysterio for now, again, another competitor tries to get the jump on Pierce. This time, it being Madcap Moss. Frost feels Moss trying to grab him, throw him over the top rope. Moss almost succeeds, but Frost counters and ends up tossing Madcap over the top rope. However, Moss managed to land on the apron, holding onto the ropes. His relief of being eliminated is short to last as Alex sees Moss about to make his way back in the ring. Frost quickly ends Moss's hope as he super kicks Madcap off the apron, adding up his eliminations to 4. Towards the end of the match, the Rumble is now down to the last 6 competitors. Alex Frost, Big E, Shane McMahon, Randy Orton, and entrant number 30, Brock Lesnar. With Lesnar seen as the major threat, the majority of the competitors, minus Frost, jump Lesnar. Their plan goes awry as the Beast Incarnate overpowers them, all with German suplexes and F5s. With all but one competitor down, not for the moment, it seems that Lesnar is all but on the Rumble, yet there's one man still left. The still standing competitor has a chance to ruin Lesnar's potential win. The superstar being Alex Frost. He gets up and charges at Brock, with Frost getting the jump on the surprise Lesnar. Frost wails on him with a flurry of strikes. He finishes with a super kicks that sends Lesnar into the corner. With the crowd of 45,000 fans cheering him on, Frost decides to hit Brock with his best shot. Frost goes into the corner Lesnar's in and picks him up for his finishing move. Frost exhaustedly moves to the center of the ring with Lesnar on his shoulders. The crowd is going crazy for the feat of strength and possible elimination of Lesnar. Oh my god, he has Lesnar on his shoulders, Cole says breathlessly. He's going for the burning hammer, says Pat McAfee excitedly while jumping out of his seat. Frost, with strain and determination, goes for the burning hammer, but ends up getting hit with the German suplex from Brock Lesnar. Oh no, Lesnar wrestled free from Frost, Cole commentates. An extra pissed off Brock then takes Frost to Suplex City with 2 more German suplexes, adding the total up to 3. To make sure Frost stays down, Brock hoiks him up and hits him with an F5. Brock then gets up and throws Alex's limp body over the top rope, causing the fans to let out a collective groan of disappointment, officially ending Alex Frost's run at around 38 minutes. What a performance from the debuting Frost, or almost 40 minutes in the Rumble. Cheers, Cole. Frost heads to the back, a bit disappointed, but can't help the smile that comes to his face. He made it. He's in WWE. Backstage Gorilla, Frost waits and watches the end of the Rumble. He and the fans are surprised and pleased with the results as Big E Lashley eliminates Brock Lesnar to win the Royal Rumble match. Now, James doesn't have anything against Brock. It's just nice to see Big E in another moment and see some revenge on Lesnar. With Lesnar taking Big E's WWE Championship early in the month that they won. With the match now over, superstars who ended the match reach the backstage area. Lesnar is the first one to make it to the back. He sees James and goes up to the young wrestler, giving him a handshake. Good out there, young man. Keep it up, Lesnar says to James for walking away. James appreciates the praise from Lesnar as he is a respected person in the business, I guess. The next person to walk into into Gorilla is the Rumble winner himself, Big E. James and Big E share a dap up and a hug. Congrats, man. You're starting to stack up the accolades, James says to Big E. Big E chuckles and says, Thanks, man. Appreciate it. You'll be at this point in no time after that show you just put on out there. James smiles from the positive comment. I really thought you had Brock there at the end. Big E finishes. No, not there yet, but we'll be there soon. James responds, Just make sure to give me a shot at you when you get that title back, James says with a smirk. The two finish their conversation and Big E's heads further backstage. Before James can join him and head to the locker room, he is stopped by the game. Hey, great work out there. Seriously, I already knew what you could do, but you impressed a lot of people out there tonight. Triple H tells the younger man, Thanks, Paul. I appreciate the opportunity you gave me tonight. James responds, smiling. The two converse on what James did great and what could have been done better. As their talk comes to an end, James asks a question. So I'm not going back to NXT, am I? James questions, wanting to be sure. Hunter smirks. Of course not. We'll see you here on Monday. You're going to be a great addition to Monday Night Raw, Triple H says. Thank you, sir. James says with a wide smile while shaking Triple H's hand. James then takes the signature picture with Triple H pointing at him. Now go rest up. You deserve it, Triple H says to James while playfully shooing him away. See you Monday, James says while leaving Gorilla. Walking to the backstage area, he reflects on his debut. His WWE career has begun and is off to a great start. The future is looking bright for Alex Frost. Okay. Chapter 2. After the Royal Rumble. James is now back at the hotel he's staying at. After exchange with Triple H, James went back to the locker room to get out of his gear. Here he shared more conversation with other superstars. Most were impressed with James' performance in the Rumble. He received praise from his peers and shared with them that he was sticking around on Raw. Back to James, he has just walked into his room. He sets his suitcase against the wall and falls backwards onto the bed. What a day, James says out loud, staring at the ceiling and thinking about his debut, along with his upcoming first night on Raw. He snapped out of his thoughts when his phone starts ringing. He reaches into his pocket and pulls it out. He looks at the contact and sees that his mother is calling him. He sits up from the bed and answers the call. Hey, Ma, James greets. James, how long are you going to wait to call me? His mother lightly scolds him. Sorry, Ma, just got back to my room a few minutes ago, James says back. Okay, fine. So how did it go? His mother asks him. What? You didn't watch? He asked, surprised. Of course I did. I even got your sister to watch. His mother, Teresa, responds with a chuckle. Who wouldn't have missed such an important moment for you? She adds. Well, I don't think it could have gone any better. Actually, winning the match what could have been better. That would have been great, but that's besides the point. James answers his mother's previous question, causing his mother to laugh at his rambling. For my first match on the main roster, it was perfect. James ends his thoughts on his debut. That's great to hear, sweetheart. You were amazing out there, but tell that Brock Lesnar guy to take it easy next time. He's throwing you around like a toy. Teresa says as her motherly instincts can kick in. James laughs at his mother's worry. Mom, it's fine. I'm okay, and he's supposed to be throwing people around. That's his thing. His mother relents his His mother relents her worry and asks James if he has to speak to his sister or if he wants to. He agrees, and his mom calls his sister to get the phone. James hears shuffling from the phone, then is greeted by his sister's voice. Hey, bro, what's up? His sister, Paola, asks him. Paola is James' younger sister at 20 years old. Oh, nothing. Just wondering how you thought about your brother being in WWE, James says to his sister. It was cool and all, but it would have been better if you actually dropped that guy at the ponytail. Paola says, referencing Brock. Oh, come on. It was my first match. I can't just drop Brock Lesnar like he's nobody. James defends himself. Yeah, I guess. Maybe another time. Anyway, super happy for you, James, Paola says. Thanks, sis. I'll try not to let you down anymore, James responds with a laugh. They say goodbye, and Paola gives the phone back to their mom. All right, it's getting late, so I'm gonna head ready for bed. Get ready for bed, mijo. And if I haven't said it enough, I am so proud of you, James. Teresa says to her son, Thanks, Ma. Couldn't have done it without you, James replies back. Two share good nights, and James hangs up the phone. He gets up and changes into comfortable clothes for bed. He gets in bed and opens his phone to Twitter, wanting to scroll for a bit before sleeping. He comes across a lot of positive reaction to his debut performance in the Rumble match. James smiles to himself at all the support he is already getting. He even comes across Triple H's post with the picture they took together. He eventually decides to send out a tweet himself, just getting started. A simple yet effective message. After posting his tweet, he turns off his phone and heads to sleep. Tonight's Monday Night Raw was taking place in Cleveland, Ohio. It was an important show as the Raw after the Royal Rumble. The road to WrestleMania has officially started, so this Monday Night Raw and the rest are sure to be significant shows. It is also an important night for James Stone as he is set to be on Raw. He doesn't know the extent of his appearance on Raw as of yet. It could be just a promo or a match, but James will tell you it doesn't matter as he's just excited to be on the main roster. Speaking of James, he's already up and about with his day. He got an early start to his morning going to a local gym to start his day. It's now around 11 a.m. and James is with the Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. A trio is at a nearby restaurant grabbing some lunch before they head to the arena for the show. So after, what are you up to tonight? Dawkins asked James. No idea. Hunter just told me to show up to the show. James answers with a shrug. Triple H was a surprise. Got me feeling excited. Montez says with his usual high energy. I'm excited too, so I'm at least hoping for a match. But I'll trust Hunter with whatever he wants me to do, James shares with the tag team. The food the three it orders had arrived, so the trio got to eating. They finished eating, James covered the check for the three as a thanks for accompanying him. James says farewells for now to the tag team and went a separate way from his friends. With some spare time before he had to head to the arena for Raw, James decided to work on a bucket list item of his. This bucket list item is to visit every MLB stadium. This, of course, stems from him being a longtime baseball fan and player. With his limited time as a professional baseball player, he managed to only cross off a couple of ballparks visited, leaving him with the majority of the ballparks left to visit. Cleveland being one of them. He would have liked to go inside and watch the game there, but unfortunately, there's no game scheduled for the Cleveland Guardians for the day. So he decided a picture of the ballpark from outside would have to do. He didn't want to risk not visiting at all, since he doesn't know when he and W would be in the area again. With his decision made, he took off towards Progressive Field to get a picture of himself with the ballpark behind him. After crossing off another item field on his bucket list, he headed for the arena Raw was being held at. James walks into the arena with his suitcase, eagerly wanting to know what he was doing for the night. He heads to the locker room to drop off his belongings before quickly leaving and searching for Triple H. He heads to the place where he knows he'll most likely find the game, that being his office. James finds the door with Triple H's name on it and knocks a few times. Come in, James hears through the door. James opens the door and greets Triple H. Let me guess, you want to know what you'll be doing tonight, Triple H says before James can even get a word out. There is a pause as James tries to think of something to say, but eventually gives up as Hunter to figure him out. Yeah, I kind of want to get a head start on preparing for whatever you have for me. Oh, don't worry, I got your plans right here, Triple H says as he hands James his script. James accepts it with a thanks as Triple H tells him he'll be going on at the top of the second hour of Raw. James thanks Hunter again as he exited his office. With a script in hand, James goes back to the locker room to start preparing for his Raw debut. After taking time to get his script down to a T, James exits the locker room and decides to head to catering to pass some time before he's on. It is currently a few minutes after the first hour of Raw, so he has some time to relax. On his way to catering, he spots a familiar face coming in the same direction as him. Destination as him, but from a different direction. She was looking down at her phone while walking. She didn't take notice of James, so he decided to get her attention. Hey, Gianna, James greets. The female known as Liv Morgan to the universe looks up from her phone and sees James. Oh my gosh, hi, hey. She keeps dragging out the Y and hey a bit. Gianna goes up to James and gives him a friendly hug. Sorry I didn't get to say hi on Saturday, she says as she steps back from the hug. It's no problem. You had Sarah there, and I didn't want to ruin the reunion, responds. The two caught up with each other as the two had only minimal conversation with each other as James was in NXT. James then asked Gianna if she was heading catering and asked if she wanted to join him. She agreed as she was not booked for the show tonight. As they were walking towards catering, Gianna asked James a question. So what are you up to tonight? I wouldn't want to ruin the surprise. You're just gonna have to watch me. James teases with a smirk using Liv Morgan's catchphrase. Ah, so you're a fan. Gianna shoots back playfully. How couldn't that be? Especially after you went toe to toe with Becky. He commends. Plus, that sunset flip powerbomb in the corner was badass. Oh, thanks, James. Gianna responds to James' compliments. That Jordan 1 and wrestling boot combo you had was also crazy. You gotta get me in touch with whoever made you those, the young man added, as is the two that get into talking about shoes, which is an interest to both of them share. They eventually made it to catering and find some other friends at a table. James and Gianna join them, and the whole group falls in conversation. By James being the newbie of the Raw, the conversation shifts towards him. Dean Priest happens to ask what James did during the day before the show. Since we were in Cleveland for the show, I decided to work on a bucket list item for myself, since I used to be a baseball player. Before James can finish, he is interrupted by a producer getting his attention. You're up next, James, the producer tells him before leaving. Guess I'm up. I'll put a pin in that story for another time. See you later, guys. James says to the group. Good luck, James, Gianna says from the seat next to him. The rest of the table wishes him uh, good luck as well as James heads to Gorilla for his Raw debut. Austin Theory is currently in the ring with a mic griping about his loss in the Rumble. Mr. McMahon chose me to be his prodigy. He gave me in the spot in the Royal Rumble to win. I deserve going to WrestleMania. Theory says, drawing boosts in the Cleveland crowd. I'm better than everyone that was in the match. Some nobody from NXT shouldn't have been in that match. Some nobody from NXT doesn't deserve to be in the same ring as me. Theory is interrupted by Alex Frost's music hitting the arena. The fans cheer for their newly arrived NXT star to Monday Night Raw. Wow, look who's on Monday Night Raw, Jimmy Smith says on commentary. I don't think Alex Frost took too kindly to what Austin Theory was saying about him. Byron Saxon adds. Jordan Pierce walks down the ramp and enters the ring, going towards the ropes to reach for a microphone from the ringside crew. Hey, Cleveland, are you also tired of hearing this guy whining and complaining? Alex asked to the crowd. The crowd, of course, cheers, wanting to get under the skin of Theory. I don't know who you think you are interrupting me, but this isn't your time, it's mine. Theory responds to Pierce. Bud, did you already forget what you were saying just a few minutes ago? You said I don't belong in the same ring as you. Frost shoots back. And after the Rumble, where I clearly got the better of you, I'm here to prove you wrong again. Theory's left speechless as Frost has gotten the better of him. So if you want to prove that I don't belong in the same ring as you, fight me here right here, right now. Frost says while tossing the mic away. You're on, Theory says angrily. After a referee gets down to the ring and calls for the bell, Alex Frost's first match on Raw has officially begun. Alex Frost instantly goes for Theory as the bell is rung, but Theory cowardly runs out of the ring to avoid him. With Theory's back turned, sounding the crowd, Frost takes advantage and dives through the ropes, hitting Theory with a suicide dive. Frost gets up and tosses Theory back into the ring quickly, looking to end the match. Theory gets up as Frost re-enters the ring and tries to swing at him. Frost ducks and hits Theory with a backdrop suplex. Theory writhes in pain. from the move and is given no time to recover as he's picked up to his feet and hit with a short arm clothesline from Alex. However, Frost did not release hold on Theory's arm and hit him with two more clotheslines before letting go. With Theory down on the mat, Frost takes some time to hype up the crowd as he's looking to end the match. With Theory getting it for the clothesline, Frost looks to hit him with the dragon suplex. As Frost goes to lock in the grip for the suplex, Theory manages to get an arm free and rakes the eyes of Frost. The dirty move works as the referee's behind the two men and doesn't see it. With Frost reaching for his face from the eye rake, Theory takes advantage with a rolling dropkick from the corner, landing and quickly taking control of the match. The match between the two young stars has been a back and forth affair, each man having their moments. Around 15 minutes into the match, Frost finds himself on the top rope looking for a big move. Before he can get it off, Theory recovers and hits Frost with a dropkick, making Alex take a seat on the top turnbuckle. Frost took too long on the top rope, and Theory capitalized, Corey Graves says. Austin Theory sees Frost in a vulnerable position and goes for a move that he thinks is for sure to keep Frost down. He runs and jumps at Frost, grabbing his body and bouncing out the top rope, flipping himself and Frost over, hitting a Spanish fly for the top rope. Well, with athleticism from Theory, Jimmy Smith commentates, Theory quickly goes for a cover look in the end of the match. He hooks Frost's leg and waits for the referee's count. 1, 2. Right before the referee can count to 3, Alex shoots his arm off the mat, kicking out. Theory is shocked at the kick out and gets in the referee's face, telling him that was 3. The referee tells him it was a 2 count, and Theory shrugs him off, winding down the match for good. Theory calls for his finisher at the A-Town down and picks up Frost in the fireman's carry position. As he goes for the finisher, Frost counters and lands behind Theory. He quickly locks in the dragon suplex hold and drops Theory with the suplex. To make sure Theory stays down for good, Frost knows he has to land his finisher. He waits for Theory to get up before picking him up. Frost lands the emphatic burning hammer and goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Your winner of the match, Alex Frost, says the ring announcer. Frost gets up and the referee picks up his arm, declaring him the winner. After celebrating his first Monday Night Raw win in the ring for a bit, Alex heads up the ramp, high-fiving the fans he could reach. Another successful debut for Alex Frost in WWE. Reaching backstage, James thanks Theory for the great match and 2 share a bro hug. James then goes up to Triple H and thanks him again, probably for the 1,000th time, which Triple H picks up on. You don't have to keep thanking me, James. Just keep showing up and doing what we know you can do, and you'll be fine. Hunter says to James with a firm hand on his shoulder. Me and the guys will figure out where you go from here and what's next for you. So no need to worry about that either, Triple H reveals as he had an idea of what James would ask next. Hunter was correct as James was left with nothing to say and just nodded the information Triple H gave him. Oh, and you don't have to worry about the live events either, as we'll settle you in here. So give it a few weeks before that. Hunter finishes before he and James go their separate ways. Gianna's with some of the other women on the Raw roster. They had just finished watching James' match from catering. Yay, go James! Gianna cheered while clapping when James won his match. Impressive stuff from the new guy, Leah, aka Carmella, said, putting in her 2 cents. Yeah, James is a great wrestler. He was also real fun to be around and back in NXT, shares Demi, aka Rhea Ripley, about James from their time in NXT together. All right, girlies, I'm going to go look for James to congratulate him. Gianna tells her friends. She gets up to leave as Lee and Demi say goodbye. Shortly after leaving catering, Gianna finds James heading to the men's locker room. Hey, she calls after him. Hey, Gianna, what's up? What do you mean, what's up? Congratulations on your first win, dude. The platinum blonde exclaims as she gives James another small hug. It was a short one as he was still swayed from his match. Thanks, Gianna, means a lot. He responds as they separate. Of course. Getting to see you first time was awesome. You that impressed, huh? He said with a smirk. Oh my geez. Oh my god, stop it. Gianna says, lightly hitting his shoulder. That seems like something she would do. To share a laugh. Okay, well, I'll let you go so you can get out of your gear, Gianna says. All right, I'll see you later. Thanks again for the support, James says as she goes to leave. He watches her walk away respectfully with a small smile on his face. As Gianna goes out of sight, James wakes his way into the locker room with a smile still on his face. All right, well, I think I'm gonna stop there. I think, but yeah, hope you all enjoyed this, and see you next time.